But at this point, I feel like it's going to be TSM. 24 pick Enigma. Feels pretty good, man.
Let's find out if it is indeed going to be this last pick Enigma reigning supreme here for the side of TSM. We did see a pretty late Enigma earlier on today being beaten by OG. So the possibility is there to deal with this hero. To be fair, they had an absurdly high-paced lineup. But beastcoast lineup is no slouches themselves. Let's see who wins this Ward War in the mid lane. Chrisla got there first. Oh no, I think they scouted him. They know. Yeah, they know. Who's got the sentry? Dubu. Ayy. So World War won by the side of TSM FTX in this mid lane. And we've seen in the previous game with EG versus Gaimin Gladiators how important having this advanced vision can be for your lineup.
Yeah, and especially in the mid lane as well. I think it's going to be so important for both these two teams to try and win that vision battle. Vision has been so important throughout the entirety of today as well. We saw how EG were able to abuse really good vision, and especially in the mid lane is because the way that this patch works now, it's like I think I said it the other day, it feels like classic Dota, right? It feels like you've got these mid laners who really have to try and play this 1v1. You've got your semi kind of classic off laners, you know, your things like your Enigma, your Centaurs, your Axes, all these heroes starting to come back into the meta, and then you've got your straightforward carries. So I feel like this mid lane is going to be a little bit more where the attention is going to be going for a lot of these teams, and specifically the vision war throughout the river, because if you are able to come out on top with, you know, taking 2 of the water runes early on at 2 minutes and 4 minutes, and even alright, Zubu's in a rough spot, but especially when it comes to the power runes, the 6-minute power runes, when you have these tempo setters like Puck and like Leshrac, if they get that first power rune and they get that first kill on the side lane, then your game becomes infinitely easier.
Nice kill for them to be able to claim. Look what they're doing top lane. They're just trying to grief Tomato. They're like, mate, you're not coming top. Like, make a decision. You're going to TP there, but you're not going to take the easy part. So that was kind of hilarious, honestly. Just trying to make him as frustrated as humanly possible to start with. In this mid lane, this is going to be very entertaining to watch. Puck versus Leshrac. As you mentioned, these tempo controlling. We're back to this old classic style of Dota. What do we anticipate happening in this mid lane? And we've also seen how important moving around the map is for these mid heroes. So who's going to win the matchup, and where does the Puck go when he feels comfortable to leave the side of the map?
I think this matchup is relatively kind of Leshrac favored, right? Like, both these heroes want to try and push out the wave, but I think the Leshrac is just much more happy about accruing that farm early on. And the Puck wants to try and make the rotation, I think, towards the bottom side, right? We've seen what happens when a lot of these offlaners really don't have fun times, and I think that's going to be a big thing for the remainder of TI, right? Is a lot of these offlane players, when you have a rough time, especially on heroes like Enigma, like the Panda, that want to try and get this Wraith Pack super early, if you miss out on that timing for a team, it feels very hard for you to try and win the team fight. So if you're lacking a Wraith Pack for, like, you know, 2 or 3 minutes, that's a couple of team fights where you don't have that extra bit of damage mitigation. So if C-Smile is able to make his way towards bottom with the first Dream Coil, they can kill the Enigma. They've got a lot of damage with the Clockwork as well as the Luna. Whereas Brawl, playing the Leshrac, doesn't really rotate as much as what a Puck does, because he doesn't have the same kind of abilities that Puck does at level 6, and he's more than happy to hit creeps and become the core himself. So, yeah, I really feel like this first power rune going bottom is exactly what beastcoast need.
Speaking of bottom, we have K1 Hector here, playing with Saberlight, against them rather, just trying to get as much farm on either side as humanly possible. Of course, because you are dealing with Luna and she's dealing with Enigma, she goes for this points into the young Moonglaves, making sure that Saberlight doesn't feel the full freedom of just positioning his Eidolons cavalierly in the lane. So this should ensure that K1 gets his farm. They can kill him between Moon Meander and Saberlight, but he does have to be very poorly positioned, and Stinger has to be very far away. And that's one of the things that K1 is liable not to do. Mess up while there's still farm available. No. That's not going to happen.
Now, if there's creeps to be hit, K1 Hector is definitely all about that Jazz right now. I do like the build that you said, getting a lot of those passes going forward. Tomato's doing a really good job at pressuring Whisper here, but Schofield, once again, just in his face, just doing a lot of good work here on the Nyx Assassin. I said that I didn't really like their 2 supports. I'm going to stand by that statement. I think it's still a little bit awkward playing Clockwork and Nyx Assassin in the same game, but I think their jobs are very straightforward for them, and that's going to alleviate a bit of the pressure. Where we talked about the Rubik and the Ancient Apparition combination from TSM yesterday, it just felt like neither of them really had a solid idea about, you know, what their job was. Whereas in this game, Nyx Assassin, hey, can you cancel one of his kisses? Yes, awesome. Clockwork, can you cancel the black hole? Yes. That's, you know,
Bet.
when you have these defined roles, it feels a lot better to have these supports that might look very similar on surface.
That certainly makes sense. This top lane, it's been very interesting to watch because both squads apply pressure in different ways. Tomato just goes in with hits. Oh, nice cancel on the pounce with the impale. And Schofield was able to read that movement coming in. Not going to get himself caught out there. I think as long as they ensure that this top lane goes well for Whisper, they don't really care how they get there. Like you mentioned, we want the early Wraith Pact, ASAP. But Gojira, now that he doesn't have the impale, it's been used up. I was about to say, if he doesn't get both of them stunned, he's in danger. But he does, like a boss, because that's just what he does. And see some contestation over a water rune here. Fortunately for the puck, he does have the illusion orb. Otherwise, there'd be some damage he has to worry about from Brawl here. His Leshrac is no slouch. Although Puck is doing a pretty good job of keeping pace in this mid lane CS-wise.
Yeah, the Puck's doing a good job. He is getting harassed a decent amount, and Brawl's doing a really good job at trying to pressure him here. But the fact that C-Smile was able to come out on top with the water rune means that Brawl is now at 50% HP and 50% mana, and he gets very, very awkward because I think the Leshrac and the Puck combination is kind of player-based, and if you're able to come out on top with the regen battle, it's pretty easy for the Puck or the Leshrac to be able to kill the other one. So I'm going to look towards mid lane to see who gets this first kill, and especially now with, you know, the power runes coming up, and this is where I like to look at the wards coming in towards this kind of 6-minute vision, because if you get the wards up at the start of the game, they generally have dissolved by the time that the power rune comes up. So I'm looking to see who makes this first support rotation to try and secure this power rune and try and secure some vision in the river.
We see that this Puck still just doing his thing. I'm also wondering exactly what's going to be the build-up from him. It's usually been the Witchblade build, but as you've mentioned before, Chris Luck, C-Smile can do some weird and wonderful things very often, so doesn't necessarily always play the same template of Dota. Just Beast Coast in general doesn't play the same template as Dota as everybody else does all across the world. So now it's still a nice, slow, early game for them. This is very beneficial when you're playing this greedy Luna. You're playing this Puck, you want to make sure that they don't start moving around until they're absolutely ready to do so. So having a relatively unpressured early game on all three of your lanes, I feel like if you're Beast Coast, you're ecstatic about this. And TSM FTX, yes, they want their farm as well. They're actually going to try go onto Stinger down in this bottom lane. Fire Snap Cookie will connect the Eidolon army, dishing out damage, but just not enough at the end. And thanks for the Eidolon, says K1. Shout out Saberlight for making my game a little bit easier.
Yeah, it's a little bit of extra gold here, and this is what I talked about, the fight for the power rune. On Bryl, if you're paying attention in the chat, check runes, please. Forced Dubu to come bottom, but it was a nice response there from Gojira, right? Like, he understood that the power rune's going to be so important, and I think that the Puck is always going to win out the fight up against the Leshrac. If they go towards bottom, try and play the 50-50, Puck's going to have the illusion to try and get towards top a lot faster than what the Leshrac can, so... Beast Coast are doing a really, really good job right now at just making it annoying for TSM to play. When you play like that,
oh my goodness,
you definitely feel
that
good.
Was so good. Yeah, great patience coming in there from the Nyx Assassin, waiting in the tree line. They had already cut down some of these trees, so he had clearer vision. Finds the impale. He found it during the slog popping a salve as well. So that's not just the kill, but a waste of resources in this top lane too. Amazingly done. And Coast doubled the kill score all across the map. TSM, FTX have yet to be able to mount an adequate response, and sadly, given that they are playing this Leshrac mid, it's a bit more difficult for him to make that response happen unless he gets like a haste rune in this early stage of the game. So TSM, not the laning phase that they absolutely wanted, but it's still not so bad, right? Slog is getting farm. That's the important thing for them. But down bottom, Saberlight's getting farm. Not as much as you want, but the most important thing is that he's getting levels, which will translate into farm a little bit down the line. So they're still okay. Like, it's not a perfect early start to the game, but it's the kind of a start that you can still wash off if you have a couple of key fights in the mid game once it rolls around.
Yeah, exactly. Now we're having the smoke up here from C-Smile. Chris Luck is seeing if he can change the fortunes here of Beast Coast. They're doing a really, really good job right now. They've spotted out some of these stacks as well. Oh, no, Moon Meander. Oh, you're running into a DD pump, friend.
Moon Meander. I think Moon Meander was coming to try and add to this particular creep stack you're talking about, as they end up taking him down. At the same time, though, Saberlight almost killed Stinger. Came very close to ending up tumbling over. You know, as much as they're very sad about losing the life of Moon Meander and losing this Moon Meander, I think Moon Meander was coming to try and add to this particular creep stack you're talking about, as they end up taking him down. At the same time, though, Saberlight almost killed Stinger. Came very close to ending up tumbling over. You know, as much as they're very sad about losing the life of Moon Meander and losing the stack overall, it's a damn sight better than losing Saberlight, who was the target of this gank initially. So Moon Meander will hold his head up high and say, boys, I tanked the gank. I made a bit of space. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, tanked a gank and unfortunately did lose an entire creep stack here. So Bryle's going to have to do it the conventional way, which is what these teams really have been kind of relying on a little bit. I don't think we've really seen all too many teams kind of maximum stack and really trying to abuse stacking. I think it has kind of petered out of the meta a little bit too much now. So TSM, they're just trying to hold on to a little bit of this map control they have. You know, Tomato's getting pushed out of the lane here by Whisper because Gojira did a beautiful job in that top lane, just allowing this Panda to get to the point where he's level 7, the Sluck's only level 5. So it's very, very scary for Tomato to stay here. Chris Luck did a really good job at making that rotation, taking the entire stack as well. And now TSM, they're on the back foot. They're looking to try and find ways back into this map. At least they were able to push K1 Hector back all the way towards base, so at least Saberlight is now in a good spot here where he's getting closer and closer towards that Wraith Pact. But Whisper on the other side of things is not even going for the Wraith Pact himself. He's just decided, you know what, Urn is strong. I'm going to go towards an Aghanim Scepter very, very early on here. Okay. See if they can do something on K1.
See that happening from him as we see. Yeah, and guess who it is that he finds? Moon Meander again. Moon happy to die for this one. Rotation is coming in from the Leshrac. Moon not even going to end up tumbling as he stays alive. That was a very long TP coming in from Bryle. But now the turnaround potential is there. Saberlight nowhere near somebody to drop a black hole atop. It might be Chris Luck as Chris Luck goes back in for the quick kill.
Oh,
but
no.
black hole gets whiffed by Saberlight because C-Smile, Chris Luck outplays him. He's trying to outplay Bryle as well. Can he guess right? Yes, he does. Will not be connected upon with the split earth, and now with the young Impale emerging from Gojira, the space has been created. Chris Luck is not gonna die for this one. Oh my, Bryle as well. Can he guess right? Yes, he does. Will not be connected upon with the split earth, and now with the young Impale emerging from Gojira, the space has been created. Chris Luck is not gonna die for this one. Oh my goodness. Bryle came in, convinced he'd be able to find the punish, but instead, he's just able to demonstrate just how slippery and elusive the puck hero actually is.
Oh no, NA Dota fans, I can hear the tears from here. That's rough. That's a rough one. I thought Saberlight had the right timing on that black hole, but Chris Luck, man, the fast fingers on this puck, and this is why I don't think you can ever count out this Beast Coast team. They are sitting towards the middle part of their or you know, middle bottom part of the groups, but these guys, they have a lot of mechanical skill and they have a lot of outplay potential. Can they at least get the first kill?
They need that potential though. Okay. Yeah, they need the outplay potential down bottom, and they have gotten it onto Saberlight. They kill him. Moon Meander not going to be able to escape this time around. He has tanked several ganks, but this time will also tank the counter initiation. Did they just smoke? They've got Dream Coil available again, and they still have Primal Split, so they don't have a smoke available though, so they can't go for that instant play. Very sad for them.
You can see the pace that Beast Coast want to play at right now, right? They understand how strong they are. They've got a level 9 Panda, they've got a level 9 Puck, so I'm more than happy for them to just kind of walk in and try and create space here for K1. Getting close towards that Aghanim Scepter, I would be very, very scared if I was TSM, if this was previous Panda. Having double split would have been absolutely insane. But I guess the Spirit Companion, I haven't been all too impressed with it. I think if you're able to use it and abuse it pretty hardcore, you know, being able to abuse the Wind Panda to have this invisible ward walking forward, you know, have the Tornado, have the Rock Throw as something something that can catch out things like the Slark as well as the Leshrac would be nice, but I don't see it being absolutely insane this game. I guess the biggest thing for me is the Wing Panda can purge off GA. So that's probably the reason why that he wants to try and rush for this Aghanim Scepter, and they found Dubu.
They have found Dubu indeed.
Okay.
And, well, he's still going to end up living, though, because this is a Army Knight. So after he drops down the GA, he's able to stay safe. Erstwhile in the top lane, Stinger, he's going to get brought down by these Morty's Kisses, but Whisper's happy to go for the counterplay here, going immediately into the Primal Split. They want the big target of Tomato. They cyclone up onto Moon Meander, holding him in position. Tomato is surrounded. Tomato's out of mana. Tomato is going to find himself getting corralled in, but they aren't able to find the final stun. Rock Throw will connect onto him with the Impale, but doesn't seem like there's enough damage here, Fluke. Tomato's going to be okay. And because they expended all of these spells onto him rather than Moon Meander's okay as well.
Yeah. I thought he'd done goof there on Tomato, but I realized that I am the wrong one indeed. Thought that potentially he could have just Shadow Danced and TP'd away, but it was a Nyx Assassin that was waiting in the wings. So Impale obviously doesn't have to be point targeted. Tomato getting out of that, getting themselves a kill onto the Clockwork, always feels good here. So whether they've been working so far here for TSM, they're slowly starting to get themselves things back in towards this game, but I still think they have a long road ahead. It's going to be hard for them to try and deal with Whisper once he has this this primal companion. At least you're going to try and make a fight here. Black Hole ready.
We do indeed, but he's not going to be able to cast it though, because Stinger, they want the last hook shot onto the Enigma. No Black Hole just yet. The magic damage from Brow will be able to chew through Stinger though. They have brought 5 heroes. Every single person is in the top lane. There's 9 heroes top, dude. It's only the Luna that's all farming elsewhere on the map. What on earth is happening? Top lane is where all the action is at, and TSM FTX, they want to take this action, but Gojira, he wants to hunt here. They still have access to this Dream Coil from the Puck, and Whisper not that far away from having access to the Primal Split. And it seems like TFM FCX, they don't want to take the risk of jumping forward. I suppose they also know for a fact that this Nyx Assassin is nearby, and that Spike Carapace would ruin them if they overextend, so it's not the Black Hole, it's not the Spike Carapace, it's the threat of the Spike Carapace that forces them to give up on the push.
Yeah, they didn't have any reveals, so they had no sentries to be able to play around in that top lane as well. And they also don't want to try and overextend because they know that K1 is completely untouched right now. He's had a little bit of free farm, a little bit of time to hit these creeps here on the Luna, so he's going to be feeling pretty good with how this is, and at least trying to aggress towards top, but they can't kill just yet because they do not have the Primal Split. Saberlight's getting close towards this Wraith Pact as well, so if they can be able to convert this with a kill with the Black Hole, they're going to feel pretty good about this.
The Black Hole does come out, it goes onto the Nyx Assassin, but C-Smile and Stinger came in on the Assassination Smoke. They're going to be able to bring down this Enigma. I say that, but the GA keeps him alive a little bit longer. Doesn't keep him alive forever, but enables them to at the very least bring down the Clockwork as well. Duvu though, his life is forfeit, brought down by the Thunderclap, and they're now turning their attention towards Moon Meander, who's not going to be able to catch the stun onto C-Smile. Can't find the escape with the Fire Snap Cookie. They will end up losing 3 in the top lane. And for Beast Coast, yeah, they had to commit the Primal Split for this, but they got them to utilize the Black Hole. And the cooldown for the Black Hole is longer than the cooldown for the Primal Split, so they'll have it available first. But like you mentioned, mid lane, they get a catch onto Bryle. Not enough damage to kill him off, though. I don't think K1 and Hector wanted to run forward with the Eclipse, given that there was still quite a lot of creeps it could have bounced off to. Had he done so, maybe he gets lucky with the bounces, but maybe he gets unlucky, he gets stunned underneath the tower, and this ends up dead. So probably the right call not to go in for that chase.
Yeah, it would have been a little bit unfortunate if they did lose K1, who's done a good job at just keeping himself away from all the shenanigans that has been happening. There's a whole lot of kills that's been going on across the entirety of the map, and you can just see it starting to get to the point now where they're having troubles dealing with this puck. Yeah, this last pick, Enigma, has kind of gone all the way through the draft, but I don't think it's kind of as untouched as it was in that EG game, right? He still has so many issues that he has to try and play around with. It's very, very hard for him to try and catch the puck. Very, very hard for him to try and play around with things like the Midnight Pulse and all that kind of stuff. Does have the Wraith Pact available now, though, so at least in these team fights, Saberlight can drop his Wraith Pact totem down. Feel happy with how the DR is going to be working for them and trying to enable Tomato as well as Brawl. And speaking of Tomato, found Stinger.
He's in a situation where he did find Stinger. Dreamcoil will follow up onto him as well. He is out of mana, but we've seen this story before where they just lack the tools to be able to kill him. And here comes TSM. They're smoked up. They're trying to go for this pincer. Puck might be exploited, and Brawl will be able to find him. But C-Smile, the intuition to throw the Illusion Orb up the hill, but now the spell no longer available. Morty's Kiss is raining in. Gojira trying to cancel them. The Impale onto 3 heroes. C-Smile went to the left, but unfortunately he only finds Saberlight's Enigma. Brings him down with the Maleficent stun. It was a cute little attempt to try and save his life, but it doesn't succeed ultimately. First while here in this mid lane, the TPs are coming in. They want to try and save Moon Meander's life by destroying this Bruling. They will be able to do so. And Whisper did get his Aghanim Scepter a couple minutes ago. Funnily enough, I was checking how fast it was going to be, so it turns out it's the 3rd fastest in this iteration of the patch, but that's after the changes. This item doesn't get bought nearly as much anymore. So he gets it relatively quickly, but we're gonna see how effective it's gonna be as this game goes on and on.
I like the fact that I like the idea behind it, him not having to commit the primal split every single time that they do see that there's a Guardian Angel, so he at least will have access to his wind companion. They can at least try and AoE purge down the Guardian Angel, but they're going to have a little bit of time here where they're behind on the Wraith Pack timing. They've been able to utilize it not all too much just yet. They've really kind of just been walking around, and Tomato's just been trying his best to see if he can get some of these kills with this early picked up Diffuser Blade. But Gojiro's been doing a really, really good job of just mana burning everyone. Like, it feels like that he is just gravitating towards Tomato and just mana burning every single time that he sees him come anywhere near him on the map. So they're doing a good job at least slowing down the pace of this game here. Have TSM, they really want to try and get their Bloodstone rolling. They want to try and get a few more items up on their Slark. And, you know, if Saberlight gets a Blink Dagger here, then he should be able to at least try and catch out this puck, which has been a bit of a thorn in their side. And you can kind of see the way that they've watered up their jungle right now is the fact that they want to try and farm up for a little bit longer, but also while they're playing on the other side of the map, they still want to have Tomato to feel safe to be able to push out this bottom side.
Whisper in the voice, him and C-Smile going into the dire jungle just to create an opportunity for Stinger to hook shot out to safety. The kisses rain in, but they're not going to end up killing Stinger. Young Porky Pig stays alive. Man, this pig pull item really annoys me, if I'm honest.
Yeah.
Like, I don't like these. I don't like movement manipulating items for free. If you're gonna get one, you gotta spend the money. Mid lane, they're going on to Brawl. They have the Wind Panda on top of him, so they're gonna cyclone him up, but they do not have the follow-up with the Impale. So they just let this one go. This tier 1 tower being alive middle, man, is it a problem for Beast Coast. They're just struggling to make any plays on this side of the map just because it's constantly there, interrupting everything. On the bright side, Whisper is able to break a quick smoke move. So they'll lose a Brewling, but whatever, better than losing heroes. But nonetheless, they really wish they had more map space to play with.
I mean,
it's better than dying, bro.
Yeah, I see that, but I feel like it makes this Aghanim Scepter kind of useless for like 70 seconds, right? Like the whole point of them wanting to get this Aghanim Scepter, you can see that's the reason why they wanted to commit on it. It's like, okay, at least now we know for 50 seconds that we can try and play around our Guardian Angel. Yeah, he's still going to be able to split and all that kind of stuff, and we didn't kill an actual hero, but they understand that this kind of makes this 4200 gold item a little bit more useless. But team fight.
Initiation onto Brawl. They want to bring him down with the Primal Split and the Eclipse. And they manage to do so. Saberlight, though, finds a wonderful black hole. But where on earth is the follow-up? Where is the pain? Where is the hurt? It's just not available. So they will end up killing him as well. Moon Meander attempting to TP out, but the Cyclone from Whisper prevents that from happening. So he'll be surrounded and slowly killed off. One person trying to flee is Dubu here. Tomorrow trying to re-engage back in the fight. Telling C-Smile, you probably don't want to make this chase happen, fam. So they'll save Dubu's life, but he's the only one allowed to escape as that team fight won decisively by the side of Beast Coast.
Yeah, that was an absolutely gnarly black hole, and unfortunately that is the duality of Enigma players, right? Sometimes you hit a 4-man black hole and your team just goes, yeah, we're not there, brother, sorry. And you just have to watch on as you've got this 4-second black hole where you've hit so many members, but you just don't have enough damage to kill anybody. And very unfortunate there for Saberlight. If Tomato was in the area, that definitely would have been, I'd imagine, multiple kills going the way of TSM. But I liked what they did there as well. They went on to the Leshrac and they found Dubu in the backlines. Chris did a really, really good job at getting the silence going down onto Dubu. He couldn't throw out the Heavenly Grace, couldn't get the GA until a little bit later on. And then you can just see the kind of issues that you have with some of these heroes where they're lacking damage when they don't have their Leshrac, they're lacking damage when they don't have their Slark either. So TSM, they've at least shown us proof of concept. Their team fight can do a lot of work, and this Enigma can do a lot of work, but they just need to have that little bit of extra damage, and maybe they can start to bring this game back, because right now, they're definitely feeling the hurt of this C-Smile puck.
Absolutely. It's a bit problematic, exactly how much work he's been putting in on the team. And in that team fight, they didn't have access to this Brewling, but they did have the full Primal Split. Yeah. And we saw how impactful Brewmaster can be in these games when he is allowed to get off his spells. Sometimes some of the games that we've seen from him where he really looks awkward are the games where he's not allowed to cast spells in the midst of these fights. But in that last one, not only were they able to get a good fight out of it, he's actually closing in on getting the Wraith Pact as well. Omni Knight though, he has to play right next to Brawl because Brawl has the most important item you could possibly want, access to this Bloodstone. So we could actually see the side of TSM try to group up together, take advantage of having this item, use it to get more gold for the BKB. But right now the big play is going to be Roshan, it seems, to the side of Beast Coast. I think TSM might have some degree of awareness that a play like this is happening, but the question is if they're able to stop it, and it doesn't seem like that's an option for them right now.
Yeah, I don't think they actually know what's going on. They don't really have any vision in the area. They haven't really had any control of the area. And man, Whisper is actually just being so annoying. He's literally just tornadoing everybody off cooldown. Like, I like it when you just see these players being able to abuse certain things like that, and being able to abuse this Wind Panther here is very, very strong. So this is going to be a free Roche for Beast Coast, and they understand the amount of vision that they have and the amount of control they have over the trading jungle. Like, look how many sentries they have, and look at all their vision. Like, they know exactly what's going on.
Your point about vision is very well subscribed because this Observer Ward that's about to expire in the top lane gave Stinger the perfect line of sight for him to get off a hook shot. And now that they've lost Dubu, you know, it's not just a 5 position. Dubu is the only reason why Brawl or Tomato would ever dare go to the forefront of the fight. Him being gone does mean that this push is possible. They're forced to lift it, no other option at that point. And Beast Coast starting to feel good. On the bright side though here, Fluke, you look elsewhere on the map. Yes, they're doing magic in the top side of things, but it's only Dubu dead. They're going to win the tier 2 tower. But farm is starting to go slowly but surely in the way of some of these heroes on the side of TSM FTX. Saberlight's keeping this bottom lane completely pushed out all the time. He has his Wraith Pact. He has a Blink Dagger, getting towards getting a BKB. And Beast Coast, they're only getting this tier 2 tower now, so they're going to lose out on getting the faster outpost. So the game is still okay, unless they have to come deal with a high ground defense all of a sudden. As it seems that Beast Coast are like, alright, we're daring you, let's go. We think we're stronger. They're going to try and prove it.
This bloody Tornado Companion it's infuriating me. I could imagine how annoying this is because there's no real way to outplay it. Like, you can't do anything, you don't want to BKB too early. K1 Hector is a very, very big boy. He is 4k above the next closest core. They're at least getting the kill here on the Whisper Stinger in the back.
Tomato went in, just catches out onto Stinger with the Morty's Kisses coming through. They managed to get that kill. So now to 1-0 so far. Black Hole!
See you
Chris
later.
Luck, he went forward instead of going backwards. Oh no, and this time around, Saberlight, no hesitation with the Black Hole. I'm not going to allow you to dodge, my friend. Straight up catches him, straight up kills him. And that's going to end the Beast Coast push. That buys so much more time for the side of TSM FTX now.
Yeah.
And Tomato, look how happy he is. Finds the pounce onto K1, but K1 does have the BKB, so he should be fine. But I don't think he cares. He's more excited about the fact that I forced this BKB out. He has Aegis, and I still forced him to retreat away from me. K1 very unhappy with the last 90 seconds.
Yeah, I think TSM just kind of catching Beast Coast a little bit unawares there. I wouldn't really say unawares, but I think that was definitely a slip up from Beast Coast. You know, Chris Lucky's had a pretty untouchable game. Wanted to see if he can take down Moon Meander on the backside after they lost Stinger, but just being caught a little bit lacking, and that was definitely a hateful black hole there coming in from Saberlight. He said, "This time around, buddy, you are not blinking away from me. I'm going to catch you, and you are going to die." And that's exactly what happened to Chris Luck here, and Beast Coast with the Aegis. They don't have BKB either. They can at least try and force some of these heroes back, but they haven't been able to truly dominate with this Aegis.
Tomato with the game sense, man. Gets out on top. He knew that a gang squad was coming in towards him. And had he remained any longer, he would have been found out by 4 heroes. And now, with this Observer Ward in their jungle, his game sense is vindicated. But they're coming again, even despite very little duration on this Aegis now, about 100 seconds on it. They're still going to try for this. They know there's no black hole anymore, though. So they're gambling on the fact that they can win a team fight if TSM, FTX don't have access to black hole. Brawl is delaying this as much as possible by dropping down the Aghanims, but here they jump directly onto this Luna. K1 doesn't have his BKB back just yet. It literally came back as he was dying. We'll have it on life number 2. Will he cast it is the question. Do they still stick around? Goes in for the BKB. Feels like he really wants this range racks. Backdoor protection though is on. They have their own Wraith Pact plopped down. They need to get out. Brawl Do they still stick around? Goes in for the BKB. Feels like he really wants these range racks. Backdoor protection, though, is on. They have their own Wraith Pact plopped down. They need to get out. Brow looking for a way to try and stop them here. Big little smoke! Tomato gets spat out by the Mortimer's Kiss. And unfortunately for them, they don't have the additional catch, though, so they get out with the Beast Coast heroes. Man, if Brow was a little bit closer with the split earth, that would have been so huge. But guess who was there to stop him? Whisper, with this uber annoying little wind ruling. Tosses him into the air, prevents the split earth, and allows Beast Coast to escape. And they get the tier 3 tower, some damage on the range racks. So despite the fact that they committed an Aegis for it, it was an Aegis about to expire anyway. So Beast Coast don't feel too hard done by what just happened in that fight.
Yeah, that was almost potentially a very, very scary moment there for Beast Coast and Beast Coast fans alike. TSM coming in with the double up. The fact that Moon Meander has had such a rough time, but still being the richest of all the sports is a mean little shout for the TSM captain. Now TSM are finally starting to get their items and get their ideas about how they want to try and get these team fights. K1 has not felt like this very, very scary hero, and TSM, they want more.
They want more, but they got the silence with the stun out onto Tomato. He will be kept alive, though. Dubu is right next to him, and he now finds the pound, the leash onto this part, but they whiff another black hole. Didn't go well.
K1 has not felt like this very, very scary hero, and TSM, they want more.
They want more, but they got the silence with the stun out onto Tomato. He will be kept alive, though. Dubu is right next to him, and he now finds the pound, the leash onto this part, but they whiff another black hole. Didn't go well for the side of Saberlight. They are fighting while through the eclipse. Tomato, he's in danger, and Tomato, now that the Shadow Dance is over, he finds himself dead. No BKB to protect him on that one, and now Brow isolated in the middle of this river as well. He's in danger. He's about to die as Beast Coast punch back in a pretty heavy way into the smoke from TSM. Saberlight forced into their BKB TP out. Chris Luck doesn't have any way to deal with that, so just watches him leave. But that's a huge, huge fight. Beast Coast able to find Tomato so early. They forced the fight into a defensive posture for TSM almost immediately.
Oh,
Power Cogs.
Oh, yeah. No. That would have been sick. He would have been able to catch the puck there with the black hole. He would have been able to catch the clockwork as well. Saberlight, you live by the Enigma, you die by the Enigma, and unfortunately sometimes this hero can be in a feast or famine, and without the black hole definitely feels like a famine hero right now. And TSM, they're in dire straits. They're going to lose a full lane of Axe here as well, and K1 can send his attention towards the mid lane, and definitely feels like right now Beast Coast are well and truly ahead. The win probability is only 66%. Yep. Seems like a Enigma plus Slark definitely feels like one of those combinations that can win out in this game. But TSM, if they aggress out onto the map like that once again, then oh boy, it could feel oh so awkward for them.
Yep. As it stands now, Beast Coast, they're ahead. Got a lane of racks. And they've also shown yet again what can happen if you end up losing a tier 3 tower to a Lunar Draft. Your buildings will just fall in very, very fast fashion. On the bright side, there is still a tier 1 tower in this bottom lane. But Beast Coast, they're the ones in the driver's seat now. Chris Luck will come across Dubu, silences him up, kills his courier. Won't be able to kill him because he has the Aeon Disc. But you force the Aeon Discharge. Yay! Now the cooldown even longer. For the next 2 minutes, they actually might try to regress on the map. And exactly as I say that, they smoke up here, Fluke. They know that they have an opportunity, if they can catch out this Omni, to kill him heads up, prevent him from healing his team, and potentially go for the jugular and winning this game.
Yeah, this is a rough time here for Dubu. You would love to be able to be what Siamese Cat has been in the last couple of days and just sit inside your fountain and click your R button, but you don't have the Aghanim Scepter just yet. So TSM, they have to wait another 89 seconds until this Aeon Disc is back up, but I think at this point they're just going to forfeit the bottom lane. They're going to lose their tier 2 towers. Usually at this point in the game, this is where I like to see what kind of vision that they've got setting up here for TSM. They have literally none. There is, what, 2 wards that are up on the side of the other side of the map, but they really don't have anything else that's enabling them to get some of these team fights going, and I think it's going to be a very, very hard fight here for TSM to come into this. Looks like they will TSM fall back.
Yeah, I mean, when you're this far ahead, you're not really in a rush anymore. You're like, well, the way that they win the game, they need like BKB on Slog. They need to get BKB with Refresher. Oh, he already has BKB, but Refresher on Enigma most likely. They need like some more items on the Omni Knight, potentially the Aghanim Scepter, but maybe just like a 4-star or something. There's just so many stops they need on the road to victory on the side of TSM that, provided that Beast Coast keep accelerating at the pace that they are, they should be A-okay. I must say, Schofield, Gojira on this Nyx Assassin has been on point. How many ravages have we practically seen out of this guy? But more importantly than that, in the midst of these team fights, Brawl has awkward decisions to make. He only now has the BKB, but every single time before this, he's just been getting mana burn, mana burn, mana burn. By the time the fight starts, he almost has nothing left in the tank, and it's so awkward for him. So now Beast Coast, they just want to wait until the Roshan is back again, give the next Aegis to K1 Hector, and allow him to play with Aegis, Butterfly, Hurricane Pike, Skadi, BKB, Manta. He's practically 6-slotted here at the 35-minute mark of this game. Once this Butterfly finishes, there's no reason not to go full steam ahead on the Beast Coast train and try and end this game.
Yeah, I think Beast Coast definitely have a lot of tools in their arsenal right now. They have the overwhelming Blink here onto C-Smile. They've got a lot of these items. I like the vision that they've got up here as well. They see perfectly exactly where the Enigma is. He blinks in. Oh, no. Saberlight.
Look how much damage he took.
Yeah.
Those are 2 hits from Illusions, Fluke. And look at this. What? You have to run from Illusions. Getting punked out by Illusions. Wow, that kind of sucks.
Alright, so now TSM, they tried to have a little bit of regression. They at least got some wards up now in their own jungle, so you might be able to see what's going to go on. All it takes is Beast Coast to walk back in towards that jungle and take it over. Now with the Roshan being done, TSM, I really don't see them being able to get anywhere towards this Rosh Aegis as well as the Refresher. Not the Refresher Shard, the Aghanim Shard is probably going to be going into K1's pocket. We've been seeing a lot of these carry players gobbling everything up. TSM are at least going to try and aggress, but they're a little bit too late here.
K1's already gotten everything. Like you said, he is a carry player. No. He's not a carry player. He's one of the carry players. So you know he's taking everything. I'm sure the reason why Beast Coast plays the style they do, because he's like, guys, I'm taking the map. I'm taking all the items. Decide how you want to play around that. They're like, okay, alright, bro, we got you. And it's carried them pretty far in the past. They posted up some phenomenal results on the back of K1 Hector playing the way that he can. Now here they are, hoping for another top 8 finish at the CI. Or even further, they're here to lift the Aegis. Nothing less will suffice. Tomato and the crew now trying to get a tier 1 tower in the top lane, but they have to deal with this oncoming push from Beast Coast, who are looking for a tier 3. And yet again, Fluke, if a tier 3 falls against the Luna, the racks are very shortly to follow, so TSM actually have to return and defend this completely. But Whisper already cycloning up Moon Meander, proving to be an annoying little pest. So it's all on Saberlight now. Can he get this Blink Black Hole? But I don't know how. Tomato does jump in a little bit, but I don't know if they can reliably get this fight. Hookshot does not connect. It's all on Saberlight now. He has BKB, he has Blink, he has Black Hole, but he doesn't have an angle, Fluke. He has no way to get into this fight.
Yeah, it's a little hard here for Mr. Saberlight. You're stuck between a rock and a hard place, right? You need to try and make sure that you have the lockdown to try and kill a Puck. You also need to try and make sure that you have the lockdown to kill K1, but he's sitting here with the Wraith Pact, and yeah, Whisper, I think it's just, he's done such a beautiful job of just abusing his Aghanim Scepter, and I think maybe teams might be looking towards this a little bit more, because this is so obnoxious to play around with. He's just going to send you up into the air, and it's like, what, 5-6 seconds? And look, they've had to do literally nothing, and now C-Smile's in the back line just hitting 3 people with a Dream Coil.
3 Hero Coil just to hold them in position so they can finish off the tier 3. They still have this Aegis, they're still going for the Mega's push, and doesn't seem like they can stop it. Primal Split will come out here. Saberlight, where you at? Saberlight finds a Black Hole, but it only connects onto Stinger. K1 even walks into it. Given that he has access to the Eclipse, it's going everywhere. He forced off Sword, it gets the right click, and he kills the Enigma. Dubu will buy back, but so will both supports from Beast Coast, who did end up dying in this game. But they still have access to this Aegis. How will K1 play around this? Getting stunned up, though, by this Aghanim shot coming in from Bryle. Saberlight has bought back, but they're not actually able to get anybody. C-Smile just gets 4-staffed out as well by K1 with the Hurricane Pike.
It feels good.
And they just call it, yeah. Buybacks on buybacks on buybacks. Spells committed. Everything that they thought they needed to win the game, they threw out, and it literally made no difference in this last fight. So they throw in the towel. GG is called. We have the side of Beast Coast with the game #1 victory here. South America standing strong over North America. I don't know if it's going to be 1-1 today, but Beast Coast certainly setting themselves up to stay in TI11 right now, Fluke.
Yeah, they definitely are. And 24 pick Enigma. I felt like it was just, I don't want to say it was a bait coming in from Beast Coast, but they definitely set themselves up to have a pretty good game against Enigma. And that's why I think that maybe it was kind of one of those scenarios that was just a little bit too good to be true, right? Like you're picking this Enigma into a clockwork, you can permanently, you know, always stop the BKB black hole. You've got a park that is very, very hard to catch. Even a lot of this time as well, like you're never going to really be able to catch out Whisper because most of the time he's going to be pre-splitting coming into these fights. And even when we saw this massive black hole that comes in from Saberlight, nobody's there. Tomato's on the bottom side of the map pushing it out, and Brow's already dead. So that's the one kind of saving grace here for TSM, is it just felt like they were almost permanently behind the 8-ball. Props to Beast Coast. So I think C-Smile played an insane game on the park. I think he really showed what happens when you play these heroes that are very, very slippery into, you know, a lot of heroes that don't have that much catch for you. They had a lot of issues with the Fire Snap Cookie. They had a lot of issues with the Black Hole, and I think that's the reason why that Beast Coast felt pretty happy with the draft they had, and more than happy to give this Enigma out, because there's not quick and easy ways for them to catch the puck, and I mean, Beast Coast, they abused that.
I mean, you were mentioning it in the draft itself that C-Smile, all he has to really worry about in this game is Black Hole, Fire Snap Cookie. Yeah. There's no way he ever gets caught by Split Earth. And I think it's very telling that the only 2 deaths that he had in this game were during Black Holes. That's it. If he didn't get Black Hole 100-0, he just doesn't die in the midst of these fights. Shout out to him. Shout out to the entire squad here of Beast Coast. They played this very high-tempo lineup. Made TSM feel very uncomfortable. I will say, though, Tomato on the slot, I genuinely don't understand why he didn't buy BKB in this game. There were so many spells that he had to worry about. Getting mana burned constantly by this Nyx Assassin. The Impale's always hitting him in the midst of these fights. Having to always worry about, okay, I just got silenced by this puck. I didn't get off the Dark Pact. One of his deaths, in fact, did come from him being silenced before he could get out of trouble. I have to worry about Eclipse. I have to worry about Lucent Beam. I have to worry about Whisper spells. The BKB would have ameliorated so much of this, but felt like he really had to get the Mage Slayer. Felt like he had to get the Aghanim Scepter. Had to get the Shard for the Depth Shroud. None of these really ended up working out for him. And Beast Coast just walk all over the side of TSM FTX here. It started in the laning phase, and it just never really stopped for them. I really do feel now Beast Coast is putting themselves... This is the kind of win that helps you gain momentum, right? It's one thing to be playing up against international competition, but usually the narrative is that NA over SA every single time. Yeah. In this tournament, that generally hasn't been the case, and now Beast Coast is demonstrating that, yo... We haven't played TSM FTX in official competition before. That's probably a good thing for them, because if we do, we are going to be the ones to take this W. Major shout out to the actual MVP of this game. Shout out Whisper. What a legend. What a lad. He also does the fun thing of buying a random item at the end of the game. We see him end this game with a Radiance on this Brewmaster. You love to see it, but if this Aghanim Scepter, game-winning decision coming in from the Whisper Brewmaster here.
Yeah, I think the Aghanim Scepter was a really nice addition for him, and the fact that he kind of shows the prowess of it, I wasn't 100% sold on it straight away. I understood why that you wanted to try and get this Aghanim Scepter, you want to try and have access to the Wind Panda, but it is so obnoxious just constantly being thrown up into the air by a panda, an invisible panda, by the way, that you cannot see. And you can see there were times there where TSM understood they had to try and kill this Primal Companion. They had to make sure that the Wind Panda wasn't there available for the Brew. So definitely feel like Whisper has started to rise the Brewmaster stocks right now, but I feel like TSM, if they don't get baited into this last pick Enigma and they try and have some heroes that have some easy stuns going forward, I liked the Omni Knight for them, but it felt like there was a whole lot of pressure purely on Moon Meander. He was the only one with a low cooldown stun that was actually able to catch people. So just try and give some simple stuff for TSM, move forward. They're a really good squad. They should be able to get this going 1-1, and moving forward, I think this could be a pretty even series.
I'm hoping that it's going to be an even series, because if it isn't, that means two things. That means TSM is going to be at a very precarious position, sitting in one of those elimination slots. But it also means that we diminish the chances of tiebreakers happening. And I want to keep this group stages going for as long as humanly possible. Tomorrow, I want to end with ties all across the board so that we keep rolling the Dota. But for now, TSM, FTX, hopefully if they can get that 1-1, they will require a better strategy, more clear execution in game number 2. We'll be finding out if they have what it takes, or if it's going to be Beast Coast utilizing the game 1 win to build momentum. We'll find out together. It's Snare and Fluke. It's day 3 of TI11, and we'll be back shortly for some more Dota action.